Outstanding first half between Utah State and New Mexico. New Mexico had built a 9-point lead at one point. Utah State coming all the way back. Big shots at the buzzer. Chris Smith. One right before that. Now a 3-point lead for the Aggies. We get set to start half number 2. Hugh Greenwood has not been in the offense for New Mexico. Keys to the game for Utah State. We gave them to you at the beginning of the game. Let's revisit them.
Well, they're down 6 on the glass, but with the lead, so that's not played real big. They've not shot a single free throw, where they're the league's worst free throw shooting team. So again, both of those stats really haven't played out either good or bad for the Aggies. They have a 3-point lead.
And for New Mexico,
well, I should have put guard Chris Smith at the 3-point line. The 3-point line, Chris Smith, 2 out of 4, has kind of gotten the Aggies over the hump. And the Lobos, who've looked for more help than just Delaney and Greenwood scoring, have gotten that. But now Delaney and Greenwood only with 2 points.
Well, Bob Stafford gives the ball to Jalen Moore, and we're underway. Utah State with the first possession of the second half. Collette, who didn't have the minutes that he wanted to have in the first half due to 2 quick fouls. Now backs in and hits it off the side of the backboard, gets his own rebound, looks for help. There's Moore. He's got 2 points. He is fouled and will go to the line for a possible 3-point play. Largest lead of the game now for Utah State at 5.
Well, terrific offensive rebound by Collette. You know, you don't have to go up in a crowd and go up over the rim to get an offensive rebound. Collette just his stick-to-itiveness there to stay with that, get the rebound off the floor and get it to Moore, and all of a sudden they've got a 6-point lead.
Foul was on to Sean Delaney, his second. That was the first free throw of the game for Utah State. Now the Lobos at home, trying to find a way to come back on Utah State. Are you surprised we haven't seen more of that full court pressure they applied early on in the first half?
I am, but they've not gotten. I don't know what they came out with great energy early on, Tim, on both their half-court offense and their full-court. I mean, half-court defense and full-court defense, and then the tempo kind of settled in a little bit, and I think that favored Utah State.
Sam Logwood at the line, fouled by Julian Perry.
It's interesting, both teams on a low block catch don't come immediately. It's after the low block guy puts it on the floor, then they'll come and try to double there. So they're kind of feeling each other out, so to speak. Here comes the press that you were talking about.
The Lobos trying to make it difficult. And they do. As Collette's pass goes through the hands of Jalen Moore, and a turnover for Utah State. That's one thing that a press can do, whether it's at that end of the floor or down at the other end, is create mistakes.
Well, remember, Utah State turned it over twice in their first 3 possessions, but they only ended up with 3 turnovers for the half. That's just their 4th turnover for the game. Well, Collette's got to be careful reaching out for a post catch like that.
Kevin Williams missing off the glass. So Jet couldn't haul in the rebound, and Moore's got it. To the guard there is Perkins, Fort Myers, Florida, transfer from Miami-Dade College. He was a 2 guard at Miami-Dade, and he's transitioned very well into the point guard position at Utah State.
Well, he's not only had to overcome a position change, playing the point guard for Stu Morrill, and their half-court offense is not an easy task.
Oh, nice dump-in pass by Perry, and the finish by Jalen Moore.
And the Aggies just continue to improve efficiency-wise on offense. I mentioned only 4 turnovers for the game. They started out off on Tim. I'm not sure that was from the press or just playing in the pit with this great crowd, and the Lobos coming out with that great energy. And then after that first 5 or 6 minutes, then again, it kind of settled down, and that slower tempo has really favored the Aggies.
Devin Williams, the offensive foul. Full court pressure being applied by New Mexico.
I like that attack, that first pass going over the top of that first trap. You know, most of those hard trap presses want you to catch the ball in the corner. If you can throw over that, you really give them a different look, and that's just what the Aggies have done on the press attack.
And Smith in a jet battle to the rebound. It goes out of bounds off of Utah State. New Mexico will have the ball.
You know, as a coach, sometimes you feel like that adage of the little Dutch boy in the dike. You know, Craig Neal all week has been preaching about getting more scoring from his other than his top two scorers. Now his top two scorers got 2 points between them. So it's almost like you want to say, no, it's okay for you guys to score. We want those other guys to score as well. But all their scoring coming from guys other than their top two scorers.
Goodman back in the game. Had a terrific first half for New Mexico, playing over the high post right now. On the baseline, a whistle, an armbar foul is going to be whistled on Chris Smith. It'll be his second personal foul.
Well, the Aggies are playing man-to-man defense in transition defense. In other words, when they miss a shot. But on dead balls and makes, they're playing a matchup zone.
Logwood, right place, right time. And it's now a 4-point game.
And here come the Lobo fans really getting into it now.
Rebound, Greenwood. Ahead to Logwood. And Logwood going to the basket. He's going to be fouled in the act of shooting. So he will go to the line for 2.
Greenwood now with 5 rebounds, averaging 6 in Mountain West Conference play, which actually leads his team in rebounding at 6'3".
First foul on Elston Jones, freshman of Goodyear, Arizona. And Logwood missing that free throw. Reminder that for every Lobo free throw made in today's game, Legacy Church donates $5 to Special Olympics of New Mexico.
They're not going to make much from Utah State. Utah State haven't even shot one yet. 0 for 0 from the free throw line. Well, 1 for 1 off of Jalen Moore's 3-point play there.
Smith to the basket.
That's still only $5, Tim. I said they weren't going to make much, you know.
Well, the foul's going to be whistled on Jordan Goodman. And Smith just dribbled into traffic here. Goodman was the one that was whistled for the foul. A 3-point Utah State lead. And Smith win that one.
Well, the Aggies have struggled mightily from the free throw line in conference play. They have 3 guys in the lineup, starting lineup, that are shooting under 50% from the 3-point line. No one shooting 70% or more, which is amazing because they're such a good 3-point shooting team, but they just can't make a free throw go in.
Over in the corner, Jones picked him up. Entry pass, Goodman inside, a jet for 2. And a foul. So a Jet will head to the line for a possible 3-point play and a chance to get New Mexico within 1.
The Lobos doing a nice job of attacking this matchup zone defense. This is a little bit different defense than Stu Morrill has played in the past, but getting that ball right there in that half post, and the liability of this zone defense is right there on that weak side. You only have one guy there to A, rebound, B, cover that whole side of the floor. Credit Noodles Neal for drawing up that zone offense. They've done a great job of attacking the liability of that particular matchup zone.
Smith gets a screen from Moore. Collette. Perkins rises and is in and out. Delaney battling for it. A Jet wins the rebound ahead to Greenwood. Quickly down the floor, New Mexico.
I'm just amazed at the lack of offensive rebounding, and maybe that's by design. But I tell you, when that ball goes up, there's 4 blue jerseys out beyond the 3-point line, and Collette is the only guy going into offensive rebound.
And Goodman would probably like to have that last shot back. Utah State a chance to extend their lead. Moore against Goodman. A foul. The foul will be on Jordan Goodman. It's a tight one at the pit. 39-37, Utah State.
Working with the kids is one of the most amazing opportunities a person can have. I have a family that I need to take care of as well, and being a diabetic really puts that at risk. When I began to talk with Connect for Health Colorado, they made sure that I was comfortable with the plan that I'd chosen. Having health insurance, it makes you feel like you're doing what you're supposed to do as a father, as a husband. I now have an insurance that I can afford and get the type of medical attention that my family and I need.
Team, you were going.
Mountain West Basketball on Root Sports is brought to you by Albuquerque Toyota Dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Tim, if you're going to guard a Stu Morrill coach team, you are going to have to guard this small to big cross screen time and time again. You see Collette with it. You see Chris Smith, the small guy. Okay, run it from there where he sets a cross screen to a big guy. And then the uniqueness of that is you can't switch a small guy to a big guy. And they usually do that off a running start, and they will run that multiple times throughout the game.
2-point lead for Utah State. Here's Jalen Moore, another free throw. And he gets the roll off the front rim. Not in a hurry, are you?
No. It's an early game. We got all even. Jalen Moore with 12 points, 14. He had a streak of 17 straight double-digit scoring games, stopped a few games ago against Wyoming. But he's got 3-4 years left. He's going to have a lot more strings.
Carey turned it over.
Good call by the official there. Hugh Greenwood on that reverse pivot did in fact turn it over with his left hand. That is a play coming out of timeout. They run for Greenwood quite often to get him the ball at the top of the key and kind of let him create from there. There's that cross screen again, small to big, followed by a down screen by Collette.
Good rebound by Collette, and now it's taken back by the Lobos. Jordan Goodman. A couple of good opportunities to score for Utah State. They came up empty. Logwood. Runner is good.
Well, you're seeing three outstanding freshmen on the court here. Collette and Moore for the Aggies and Logwood for the Lobos. Kids you're going to hear a lot about in the next 3 years.
9 points for Logwood. Moore got the three. And that quiets the crowd here at the pit.
Boy, I talked about how pretty his stroke is. It starts with his great footwork and then just a terrific release. He's shooting 41% for the year from the three-point line. Remember, folks, he is 6'8". He is one of the best inside-out players in the Mountain West Conference.
Goodman tried to answer. It was tipped up into the hands of Collette. Perkins hangs onto the dribble.
Good transition defense then by the Lobos, in particular. Hugh Greenwood staying down, staying in front of Perkins.
6 minutes of the second half gone by. Now Smith drives to the lane. A whistle along the baseline. But it was slapped out of bounds. Goodman will come out. And coming back in for New Mexico's Devin Williams. Goodman will sit down with 7 points, all 7 coming in the first half.
Very short bench for the Aggies. We've talked about that. They didn't score a single point last time. They only got a couple guys that are functionable off the bench. Sean Harris right there is one of them.
Sean Harris with a basket. Took a while. That's got to be excruciating for the guy who shoots it, because it seems like time slows down when that ball's on
no
the rim.
question.
Well, Craig Neal and the Lobos trailing at home to the Utah State Aggies. 46-39. Back in a moment on Root Sports. Utah State is 2-3 on the road in Mountain West play, but leading here in the second half. And although David Collette has not been tearing up the scoreboard, what he has contributed has been very important.
Well, he adds that element of strongness, physicality. When he gets them, you know he's got him. Watch this reverse dunk here. As I said in the open, he is not just one of the best freshmen in the league now. He is one of the best post players, and a kid that is destined to greatness up in Logan, already writing his name in all the freshman scoring record books. 22 in his opening game against Weber State, which was a freshman record. 34 at USC, which was the most points ever scored by an Aggie freshman. There's been an awful lot of good Aggie freshmen. So this kid has kind of had his ups and downs. He's been a little inconsistent as most freshmen, let alone one that's been away on a more of a mission. But he is going to be a great, great player in Logan.
Full court pressure applied again by New Mexico. 4-point Aggie lead.
There's that pass I talked about that throws over that first trap and really makes that trap then try to come from behind. That's really good press offense by the Aggies.
Smith got the ball around the perimeter now. Perkins guarded by Greenwood. Shot clock to 10. Game clock just under 11 minutes. And Moore will have to fire one up. Edwards comes down with the rebound. So big chance here for New Mexico, and this crowd will let them hear about it. Try, no good. Delaney came out of nowhere to tip it, but right into the hands of the Aggies' Chris Smith.
And Hugh Greenwood, who has been carrying the bulk of the scoring load for the Lobos in the last month, still without a field goal. 2 weeks ago, he had back-to-back over 20-point games against UNLV and Wyoming.
Chris Smith with 2 more. He's got 13 in the game. And it's 50-44.
Chris Smith, a career-high 24 real early in the year against BYU, but he has been extraordinarily steady all year in his Aggie performance.
A foul before the shot. Will be called on Sean Harris. For Harris, his second and the 6th team foul for the Aggies.
Harris just spells Collette a little bit. Harris coming back from a horrific knee injury a couple years ago in his 6th year of eligibility.
And Greenwood popped right off the inbound, and Hugh Greenwood gets in the scoring column. First field goal of the game, and it comes with under 10 minutes remaining in it. A whistle, a foul on the floor. Julian Perry tried to go to the basket, but Arthur Edwards wouldn't let him go.
Neither team in the bonus yet.
Second foul on Edwards.
Nice hesitation there by the freshman Julian Perry. He's one of the freshmen we haven't talked about. Hasn't put up big numbers, but has been a starter for the last 15 games. Aggie coaching staff love his toughness and what he does defensively. Will turn into more of a scorer as his career goes on.
Perry kicks it to the corner. Perkins rises over Greenwood and hits. And if you're Utah State, now, Joe, how do you try to maintain this lead on the road in hostile territory?
By doing just what they've been doing, using the shot clock, executing at half court. I was just getting ready to criticize Perkins for holding the ball too long there before he jumped up and made that jump shot.
Ganga missed the baby hook shot and rebound to Utah State.
Utah State has not just improved from November to this point. They have improved in every facet. I talked about their lack of rebounding tonight, especially in this second half. Collette in particular has just dominated the glass.
8 rebounds for Collette. He's got the ball now, a little touch, and he hits. And now Utah State with their largest lead at 8 points.
Well, they've had a couple of nightmarish finish here in the Mountain West Conference. They let one get away against New Mexico at home that they should have won. They let one get away at UNLV that they should have won. So, you know, I don't know how confident they are, but they're sure playing very well here in the last 10 minutes. Great draw and kick against Smith to Collette. They're just chewing the Lobos up with their half-court execution, which is nothing new for Stu Morrill. David Collette, the third leading field goal shooting guy in the league. He's also third in blocked shots. Once again, I've said numerous times, just a freshman, and he's gotten better and better as the year's gone on.
He's 4 for 5 from the field in this game. 8 points, 8 rebounds for Collette. He's flirting with a double-double.
Well, he's fouled out of 7 games. He's let his temper get the best of him a handful of times throughout the year. Tonight, playing, kind of taking the emotion out of his game, and I think that's just a sign of youth and inexperience, but he's hurt his team a couple times when he's protested fouls and, again, kind of let his temper get away from him. This is a little bit of a false motion by New Mexico where they get to a couple handoffs and kind of move you around, then they really get on the attack.
Inside is Jet. Blocked from behind. And now Moore for Perkins. A screen from Collette. Collette rolled to the basket, but Perkins couldn't get on the basketball.
Collette's third block, I mentioned he's averaging 2 a game.
Oh, there's a nice jump shot by Darius Perkins. And now a 10-point lead, largest lead for either team in this game.
Perkins really getting going this second half, averaging just under 10 points. Tim, you talked about not only has he made the conversion to playing at the Division I.
A look at Cornell Mall on the campus of the University of New Mexico here in Albuquerque for this Saturday. Jalen Moore for Utah State. He's been getting it done. 17 points. He is the game's high scorer.
Well, he had 22 points last time these two met in Logan in that game that I talked about. The Aggies just kind of gave away down the stretch there. He's got his career high is 22. He's done that twice, once against these Lobos, so he seems to kind of like playing against the Lobos.
A 10-point lead. The crowd here at the pit has not been as loud as we've seen them in the past. They've been loud on occasion here today, but this is one of the loudest buildings you're going to encounter in all of college basketball. New Mexico trying to score with a stop clock here. Deshaun Delaney missed that one. And the free throw woes continue for New Mexico. Bolton with the basketball for Utah State. 8 for 12 from the line for the Lobos in the game now. Jumper no good by JoJo McGlaston. On the rebound to Delaney. Pass to Goodman. And Goodman bumped by Collette. And then a foul is called. So for Utah State, foul will be whistled on Collette. And that'll be his third foul. And that will send Jordan Goodman to the line. And again with the clock stopped, New Mexico needs to take every opportunity to score. I mentioned it earlier where they had 6 minutes and 40 seconds of scoreless basketball at the end of the last game, which they lost to Air Force 53-49. Well, right at that time now where they've got to find a way to turn it on if they want to win here at home.
Collette's gone a long time playing 2 fouls. Just picking his 3rd foul up. He's in pretty good shape now, I think. Unless he does something just not very smart.
There's ball right here for Taylor. And they're going to say, initially, Utah State ball. The officials are discussing it. And the call's been reversed. It is New Mexico basketball.
The crowd helping quite a bit with that call, I would say.
15,000 officials
without a doubt
expressing their opinion. Greenwood, high arcing three.
Boy, what a tough shot. He caught that running down the baseline with his back to the basket, got changed around, got his feet set, and a terrific delivery for a 3 to get his team within 5 points.
And now this building has come to life. Greenwood went for the steal. Utah State maintains possession, 6:12 to go. 15,000 plus on their feet. Collette foul on his way to the basket. Oboch and Jet will get whistled for the foul. And Collette will not go to the line. Oh, no, he will go to the line. Beg your pardon.
Collette executing what's called an explosion move. A Jet next to him, not a step up. And Collette just flashed right in front of him there to get that catch. And the Jet at 7-1 played it just about right, I think, but got him with his body.
Sixteen fouls for New Mexico, 8 for Utah State. Collette misses both. And a whistle. There apparently was a lane violation, and Collette's going to get another.
And that's got to put a little doubt in the Aggies' mind. I've talked about a couple games they have not been able to finish because of free throws. Collette only shooting 43% in conference play from the free throw line.
Collette ends up with that one, 57-51. 6-point lead for Utah State. 6 minutes remain. The handoff, taking it Tim Jacobs. Jacobs out of Las Cruces. Got the ball. Goodman underneath, reverse layup, no good, and the rebound to Collette.
Collette again just gobbling up the glass down at the defensive end, going up in the crowd with 2 hands.
It's his 9th rebound. And that one's out of bounds right through the hands of Chris Smith.
And you can see Stu Moore over there just drop his head, thinking, guys, let's don't self-destruct here. In about the last 6 minutes, Collette missing 2 free throws. An unforced turnover there. And again, they have had a hard time finishing games this year.
And another foul on Utah State. That'll be on Julian Perry. New Mexico in the bonus. That's the 9th team fouls. The next foul for Utah State will give New Mexico 2 shots for each foul the rest of the way.
Well, great post-up move by Delaney. He's 6'6", not a big body, but boy, he posted up like a man there. Julian Perry, just a freshman, kind of got locked in jail there by Deshaun Delaney.
Well, Delaney earns the bonus.
Delaney pretty quiet tonight too. He and Greenwood, the top 2 scorers, neither one having a very big scoring night.
Now a 4-point game with 5:12 left. Full court pressure from the Lobos, and the Aggies break the press. Perry dribbles out, gives it to Perkins. He'll hold it. Perry stutter stepped. Still maintains the dribble. Perkins gets a high screen. Now Moore lobs it in the corner. Smith picked up by a Jet. Smith gets around and kicks it out. Baseline jumper, no good. Air ball, and it's caught out of the air by Goodman.
Great half-court offense by the Lobos in their half-court zone. They've played the last handful of possessions in their 2-3 matchup zone. And the Aggies having a little trouble attacking it.
Logwood finds the cutter, Delaney. Delaney spinning toward the basket in traffic, scores!
Well, Delaney's coming off of a back screen by her post and getting into the low block area around Perry, and Perry's having a hard time with that matchup.
Just a 2-point game right now, 57-55.
Here's that back cut play here. Now watch Delaney get this back screen here and ultimately end up in the post area there. Okay, go ahead and run it, fellas. Watch him come off there, and then now he's got his way with the freshman Perry down in the low block there. That's where Perry got his last foul, really taking advantage of a mismatch. Long arms of Delaney, the senior, against the freshman Perry.
Well, we thought this would be this type of a game. We mentioned it once before during the course of the telecast, and it is what we thought it would be. It's a 2-point game right now. These two teams taking a very similar path through the Mountain West Conference season, and here we are getting close, about 4 minutes away from a crossroads.
Well, early in the game, the Lobos jump out to a 9-point lead, and it looks like it's going to be all Lobos. The Aggies come back and take a halftime lead and then stretch it out to double digits, now down to a 1-possession game. And you're right, both these teams have been very similar in terms of won losses and being in close games. Both of them 3-3 in their last 6 games, so it's played out kind of like what we thought, Tim.
Well, questions that still need to be answered by both coaches here for the final 4 minutes. New Mexico had a 7-point lead. That was their largest lead of the game. Utah State's largest lead has been 10, but a 9-1 run has cut it to 2.
Utah State with 19 fouls. Obviously, the Lobos go to the double bonus on the next foul. The Lobos with 6, putting the Aggies in the bonus with the next one. And it looks like the Lobos are coming out in their zone defense again. The Aggies are really having a hard time dealing with this zone.
Well, Collette playing the high post. A foul is going to be whistled on a Jet, and that'll put Utah State in the bonus. More from the pit in Albuquerque. Mountain West basketball on Root Sports. That's where Coach Craven gets his kicks on Route 66.
Route 66.
Seal Route 66, taking you through downtown Albuquerque. And along with Joe, I'm Tim Neverett. Glad you're with us. We've got a very good one here, 57-55 Utah State. Stu Morrill is 4 wins away from 400 at Utah State. He's got 614 overall. Remember, he was at Colorado State for a number of years. He will call it quits at the end of this season, go into retirement. And we will have his final game of the regular season right here on Root Sports.
I'd like to add I've contributed 6 of those wins there. He'd be 10 away if it wasn't for me. I always like to kid him. I beat him 2 out of the first 3 times we ever played when I was at Weber State. I made him mad. He beat me 5 straight after that. But all he ever wants to talk about is the 2 I beat him. You know, he just gets so greedy, I think. I had a wonderful conversation with Stu yesterday. I can't wait to play a little golf with him this spring after he steps down and relaxes a little bit. There's that back cut to get Delaney to the low block again. Watch Collette coming over to help this time. The Aggies much quicker with the rotation.
Goodman, a wild shot. A Jet comes up with a loose ball. Managed to keep it away from McGlaston. 5 seconds to shoot. Greenwood's going to have to fire one up. He does, and it doesn't hit anything except McGlaston's hands. Had a Lobo come down with that, it would have been a shot clock violation. 58-55. Big possession here for Utah State, to say the least. They'll wind the clock under 3 minutes. And the shot clock now under 10 seconds. Perkins got the roll and the bounce, and that's a three. What a shot by Darius Perkins, and a crowd quieter.
That is what you call a shooter's touch, although Perkins shooting 41% from the three-point line in conference play, or you could call that a splash in. Look how high that goes up, touch the backboard. And that was under duress, so to speak. Hugh Greenwood did a great job of defending there, right up in Perkins' grill.
And Perkins now one of 4 Aggies in double figures. He's got 10. Collette with 10. Collette also with 9 rebounds, so 1 rebound away from a double-double. Moore with 17 and Smith with 13.
It's been a while since Moore scored while they were over 10 minutes left in the play. He had 17 because I was thinking his career high is 22. He had a shot at that, so he's not scored in about the last 8 minutes.
61-55. Lobos running out of possessions.
Utah State has abandoned that matchup zone in about the last 5 possessions, went straight man-to-man. They've given up a little bit in the post to Delaney, but credit to Morrill, they've made a great adjustment by bringing Collette over to help in the low block.
Kovac, a jet! Wow! And a steal. Logwood. Loose ball. Collette's got it. 2-on-1. Here comes Moore with a two-handed jam. And boy, how the momentum keeps swinging.
Wow.
With a blink of an eye.
Wow. Jordan Goodman, another great pass. That's about his 3rd or 4th great pass in the paint tonight. I talked about how skilled he was at 6'9". And then in that scrum for the ball, very fortuitous, Utah State, and Collette picks it up and goes the length of the court. Watch it again. Once again, a late rotation by Utah State with Collette coming over to help there. No help on that backside. Then Collette picks it up off the floor. Great run out by Jalen Moore, the 6'8" freshman. That was a huge possession, Tim. That turns that from a possible, that was a 4-point turnaround there, 2 that the Lobos don't get, and an easy one at the other end. Remember, the Aggies having a hard time in half-court offense, generating any offense. That's just what the doctor ordered there, an easy basket on that run out.
And Stu Morrill is 1-6 in this building as a head coach. And this is what they're taking a look at right here. And let's see. They want to check the game clock. So we'll see if there was any sort of issue with the game clock and make an adjustment.
See, the Aggies all night have been throwing over that first trap. That last possession, they threw it right where the defense wants you to get it, in the corner there, so they can set that hard first trap. All night they've been throwing over that and getting the ball free throw line extended to avoid that trap. And just, I don't know why they inbounded it there, and that almost cost them in a big way.
Minute 59 on the game clock remaining. New Mexico needs a basket. Greenwood gives him a three.
How about that? A kid that had been struggling all night to find his range. Only 1 of 3, 2 of 5 from the field, and the blink of an eye gets his team back within 1 possession. That's the reason he is an all-league player. And that's the second time, Tim, excuse me, he's made a jump shot, a three-point shot, running away from the basket. You don't know how hard that is when your momentum is taking you away like that to get turned, get those feet set, and make that ball go in. That's 2 he's had like that tonight.
See the timeout situation. New Mexico out of them. Utah State with 2 remaining. Both teams in the bonus. 9 team fouls for Utah State. Next one puts New Mexico in the double bonus. A double-double for Collette as he picked up his 10th rebound. So 10 points and 10 rebounds for David Collette.
We're not having any timeouts left could play big into this with New Mexico. Obviously, they're not at the point where they got to even think about fouling there. They're a couple possessions away, but late in the game, if they've got to foul and try to get a timeout and talk about it, that's no longer an option. They need another great half-court possession here at the defensive end.
Now, Utah State was one of 4 teams in the Mountain West holding the opposition to under 60 points a game in league play, but New Mexico right at that 60-point mark now.
I don't think we've mentioned this tonight. New Mexico, one of only 2 teams in the nation that no one has scored 70 on yet this year. Them and Cincinnati. As I said, this is an unbelievably well-coached league overall, but at the defensive end, boy, I tell you, guys and teams are just downright stingy. There's that pass that they needed to make a while ago. Free throw line extended to throw it over the trap.
Smith across the half-court stripe. Gets it to the point guard, Perkins.
Lobos in the zone now.
Entry pass to the high post, Collette. Kicks it back outside, Smith, now Moore.
The Aggies 4 around 1 with Collette kind of working up and down in the post area.
6 seconds on the timer. 3 seconds on the timer. And Perkins, the miss. Lobos a chance to tie here with a 3. Greenwood missed everything. And a jet made a bad pass, and it was taken away. Greenwood battling for it on the floor. The possession arrow favors New Mexico. The Lobos will have the basketball with 1:07 to go and a fresh shot clock.
What a great play by Hugh Greenwood there, just going even with the floor headlong to get his hand on that loose ball to cause the tie up here. Look at that. The guy that we talked about this, Tim, an hour and 45 minutes before the game, he was out here working on his jump shot. First guy for either team to be out here. And what a great hustle play there.
Greenwood will turn and missed the 3 again. Collette the rebound, his 11th.
Collette knocking on the door of a double-double. I thought the Aggies last time played east and west instead of north and south. They got that ball worked around the perimeter, but never really ventured anywhere to get it inside. They're playing 4 around 1 with Collette at the high post, but they've kind of got to get some penetration, some gap dribbles, and try to get the ball to the paint.
Stu Morrill uses a 30-second timeout. And what do you suppose he is discussing here?
I think probably what I just talked about. Hey, guys, we've got to get someone to gap dribble to occupy 2 defenders. If we don't get it to the paint, at least, again, that's occupying 2 defenders. That'll free someone up. We've got to be a little bit more aggressive. We can't continue just to pass around the perimeter.
On West standings, Wyoming going to 8-3, losing today to Air Force. Air Force getting a big win. San Diego State on top of the conference right now. Boise State, Colorado State. New Mexico will take on Colorado State Tuesday night, a 9 p.m. game in Fort Collins.
Huge game tomorrow, Boise State, San Diego State. How about Boise State after starting off 0-3, losing at the buzzer to the Aggies, to take it to 0-3, have won 6 straight. And boy, I tip my hat to Leon Rice and his staff of sticking to it and getting that thing turned around. And, of course, having enough sense to get the ball into Derek Marks' hand, just let him kind of play it a little bit. And he's having a terrific year. But Leon Rice has done a great job with that team after starting 0-3.
Utah State trying to put some distance between themselves and New Mexico. Looking to make it at least a 5-point game.
Again, a short shot clock here.
4 seconds on it. Smith with 3 seconds on it. Just fires one in the direction of the net. Rebound to Delaney.
Now the Lobos have got to really be aggressive here. Try to get it to the paint. Remember, no timeouts left, so if they score, they're going to have to foul.
Williams missing the game-tying 3. Jacobs for three. He missed. And Collette's going to hold it. Utah State is going to be victim of a foul with 0.8 of a second left.
And the Lobos with 3 different shots to tie it up and couldn't make it go in.
JoJo McGlaston was limping over toward the Utah State bench. He's taken himself out. So 2 chances to tie it up for the Lobos. They have come short. Perkins can ice this game.
Well, he just needs to make one. You almost want him to miss the second one.
Well, he missed it, and a jet just fires it down court. And Utah State comes into the pit and knocks off New Mexico 63-60. An outstanding game for Jalen Moore with 19 points, a double-double for David Collette. And now we take a look at our All-Heart Player of the Game, brought to you by Christus St. Vincent Regional Center in Santa Fe. Jalen Moore, 19 points, 7 of 13 from the field, had 4 rebounds, and he certainly was a factor in this one for the Aggies.